Hi everyone. We're going to establish three trig identities. They're very similar, so I'm going to go kind of quickly. We're using the Pythagorean identities here, meaning we're going to use the ones where sine squared of theta equals 1 minus cosine squared of theta, and cosine squared of theta equals 1 minus sine squared of theta. So these are the ones we're going to focus on this video. So the first one is cosine of theta plus sine squared of theta over cosine of theta plus 1 equals 1. And what I'm going to do is rewrite this, and we get cosine of theta plus 1. I'm using this 1 minus cosine squared of theta over 1 minus sine. What is it? No, sorry. I was writing the wrong thing. Over cosine theta plus 1. Now, I'm going to use the fact that this is a squared minus b squared. And I'm going to write that as 1 minus cosine times 1 plus cosine over cosine of theta plus 1. And you notice these two are the same. They cancel out. So what we have is, I'm going to pick this one up. Cosine of theta plus 1 minus cosine of theta. And these will, cosine of theta minus cosine of theta is 0. So you're going to get 0 plus 1 equals 1, which is what we wanted. We have 1 equals 1. Okay? The next one's very similar. We're going to establish the identity of cosine squared of theta over sine of theta minus 1 plus sine of theta equals negative 1. Now this one, I'm going to write the numerator as 1 minus sine squared of theta, which I know I can write this as 1 minus sine of theta times 1 plus sine of theta, all over sine of theta minus 1. And then we still have this guy, plus sine of theta. And all this is supposed to equal negative 1. Now what we have here is that we can't cross these two out. So what I'm going to do is, remember when you have something like a minus b over b minus a, what you can do is you can negate both of them. Now if I negate the denominator, I'm going to get a minus b. And what will happen is this crosses out, but we still have this negative in front, so that's going to be negative 1. And that's what I'm going to do with these two right here. So I'm going to put a negative in front of both of these. Attach this guy. Okay, so the denominator here, if I distribute that, that's going to be, I'm going to have to erase this because I'm running out of room, but negative sine of theta plus 1, which is the same as 1 minus sine of theta. And now we have negative 1 minus sine of theta times 1 plus sine of theta. And now I'm going to write this down, over 1 minus sine of theta. Okay, now like I said, I'm going to have to erase this. Now basically what happens, and then we have this plus sign thing. These two cross out, and we have still left with this negative in the numerator. So we get negative. If I distribute the negative here, I get negative 1 minus sine of theta plus this sine of theta. These two cancel out because that gives you 0, and you're left with -1, which is what we wanted. Okay, in the last one, we have sine of theta minus cosine squared of theta over 1 minus sine of theta equals -1. So basically these are the same. I know this is 1 minus sine squared of theta, so I'm going to go ahead and write it as 1 minus sine of theta times 1 plus sine of theta, all over 1 minus sine of theta. And these two cross out, and we get sine of theta minus 1 plus sine of theta. Now distribute the negative or multiply everything by -1. You get sine of theta minus 1 minus sine of theta. These two cancel, so you have -1. And we established the identity. That's all. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.